Good morning. More of the same. Hard to say. Um, Negative reaction to this jobs report, but in reality, just based on the chart, it's meaningless. Whatever is moving the markets in the short term, day to day, not breaking out of this range. And it will sooner or later, of course. And we have to wait to see what it is. Maybe next week, another day to go here. And clearly defined lines in the sand, highs and lows there. See, looking at SPY, and we always look at where the overnight is in relation to, the daily chart, meaning, okay, it's going to gapping to where? Is anything significant? Is it taking out support? Is it taking out resistance? And so far, it's just gapping within yesterday's range. You can see the crosshairs on the daily chart. As I move this around, you look at the daily chart, and it's just not even taking out yesterday's low yet. It might, just back this off. So always, right, we'll always look over to the left and see, I want that one. It's this one. And, give me a sec here. Duplicate that. Drag that up here. Define the high pre-market. And we got a low down there, which, on the hourly chart, where it's at these little, what I'll call minor lows within the middle of the trading range. And you can see it's smack there in the middle of the trading range. May send this down to the next level, or maybe to the bottom of the trading range, which still in the end of the day is just more wiggles back and forth. We say it is what it is. So if it gets down to the bottom of the trading range, if this just keeps dropping, I guess in the sense of trading range, it's basically we need to have a Pavlov's dog reaction to it. And it goes down there, think some strategy to buy, so whether it's a credit spread on SPX, intraday buy setup, whatever your vehicle of choice is. Let's see if it holds here. It was still 25 minutes to go to the open. Look at yesterday, how things went whipping down and just ripped right back up, near the end of the day. So it's a very whippy, volatile intraday environment. Alex, it reminded me 9:45, so 15 minutes after the open, there's some other number coming out. Alex, I was looking at a few weeks ago, all of these Fed speakers talking, and for the most part, unless it's the Fed chair, it seems to be the market could care less. But, we'll see. There's so many things now that, we can pay attention to, because this market is so news driven and on the edge, uncertainty whipping around, and almost like I think whatever's going on, who cares? Right. I mean, in the moment of the day, whatever position, if you're, you have on a short-term position, yeah, of course you care or pay it, be ready to move quickly. But unless this thing breaks out the bottom of this range, what I'll say authority, or the top of it, everything going on is just noise. So not that we can't trade the noise, but there's different stocks that are moving, when the market is doing nothing here. So, and that's good. All right. So, on the bottom of the support here, so far it's beginning to take hold slightly. There's still time to go in this bar, but igniting momentum is slowing here, and buyers are stepping up. How many times can I reinforce? You don't need that's there every day. You don't need any of that stuff to see where support and resistance is, Just look to the damn left and it's right there in front of your eyes. So all that proprietary stuff is nonsense. Whether it'll hold there or not, that's, another story. So you see the way this came down, and it's holding there for the moment. Now we'll see how much it retraces or the lack thereof, and then whether it'll continue to move down to the next level, which right now for today is that low from a couple of days ago. Pretty simple. It works. All right. We always take a look at the S&Ps. You can see it's an inside day, and different, those levels there has got to be there as long as it happened during the trading day, which it did, because we looked at SPY, and that other level right there blew through that. And so now beginning to try and stabilize and within this existing range. So with it moving down, let me just take a look to see where those quotes are, which is good. Well, I had written down 3760, which I prefer. And it's probably the premium that was at 38.95 is probably disappearing. But you want to be on either side of this range as much as possible. So as this is going down, let's just see here. 37. Yeah, it's still 37.55 has grown. So, down below here, you say, will it go down below there today? In reality, nobody knows, but we know repeatedly over the last several weeks, 2 or 3 weeks, it pops back up. As things are being below this bar now, right, below that low, that's a reasonable bet, because it was here and it's got to travel all the way down there. We know buyers are going to show up again, right? At least momentarily. Why should they take it any further today, right? There's more news coming. So, down being below here, and if it keeps going down prior to the open, you can get even lower. So 37.55, you can even go 37.50 now, which has got, it's not a huge open interest there. So it went below 37.60, which had the open interest was 12,000. And 37.50 is like the midpoint between the whole numbers, which is enough premium right now to do that. And that's good. That's good down here. Right? Being below all of that. All right, other markets, right? Inside day. Right, what more can you say? It's going down to support. You can see right there. YM down a couple of hundred here. Big deal. Inside day. It's at yesterday's low. Same pattern. And you see bottoming tail bars beginning to form. And I guess a little bit of relative strength is far from yesterday's low. Just looking at the slight differences here, still weakness, but holding closer to the top of the range. Small caps, internals. This is moving up. We discussed this in part in the room yesterday, because there's a bunch of stocks that are moving up, that are kind of on their own page. So, this moving up to this level isn't a bad thing. Right? And if you noticed yesterday, there were tons of 1,000+ NYSE tick readings. So there was lots of buying. And now with this negative reaction to the news, jobs report, where it's like, don't these people have to go to work at some point that have been sitting home collecting the money that we pay in taxes? That the government was giving away. I don't blame them for taking it, but all these jobs that are out there that are being offered and no one was taking them, at some point, people have to go back to work. So this jobs report, is it all that meaningful, other than whatever the market's reacting to it, because the market wants to think or know that the Fed isn't going to keep raising interest rates. And we know that they're going to keep doing that, in the short term. So none of that's going to change. All right. Interest rates up a little bit, big deal, still within a wider whippy range here. We knew that they were going to, gravitate down here toward support, and now they're in the middle of the range. The 5-year, same story. We still have, inversions, right? They were beginning to improve a little bit. Now, I can't drag it. Won't let me drag this across because I switch here. I guess it's just got to adjust or whatever. Anyway, you can see inversion here. This has gotten even worse. The 3-month versus the 10-year. It's pushed even lower. So there's all this talk about no recession, soft landing. In the end, look, there's nothing very positive here going on. It's at some point things will go down again. And we have a situation where, hey, the NASDAQ got down to an area of support, it stabilized there last month. It looked like things could bounce up, and maybe they will yet. But overall, we've got this erratic, choppy, whippy market environment, and it is what it is. So what's your choice? Stand aside and wait, right? That's it. That's it on your hands, as we call it. Do credit spreads intelligently and different stocks and different patterns. Surprisingly, with all this whip going back and forth, looking at a few things like Tesla yesterday, and which, several months ago, anyway, it was always big, juicy premium where you could do things with a couple of days to expiration. And there, it isn't there right now. So, that's interesting. The VIX is just holding here, weekly chart, just hanging there. That's doing nothing. It doesn't matter where you look. Pretty much it's the same story of indecision. And now, just looking at some ETFs here, whatever reason. Well, yesterday was a little bit of an update, right? So I don't know what these will do now, but France ETF still was in the trading range. That broke out of the trading range. Germany broke out of the trading range. This is the hedged equity for Europe. That's up to the top of the trading range. And so if US market goes back down to the bottom of the trading range, they're holding this. I don't know, is this gapping down? We'll see with this. So normally I wouldn't even talk about that, but there's so much indecision in US markets, which you can see across the board here. A little bit of strength in beaten down sector, communication sector here, but just a mess, almost everything. Currency related, maybe to some extent. The dollar is starting to perk up a little bit, and the euro is moving down. That was a big theme for the majority of last year. You can see the euro here. That's just an inside day from yesterday. So all of these things that were discussed lately and today, we wouldn't be if the markets were decisive. So we start looking for all of these other places that might give us an insight into the market's direction. But ultimately, we're going to know the market's direction because it's either going to break out of this range to the upside or the downside. But we're looking for a heads up, a lead, an edge. And, bottom line is you're really not getting that. So, pick your spots and, relatively tight stops. We'll see what happens. Bitcoin's doing nothing. Well, silver, which has been doing well, that's starting to roll over now. Jobs report related, I suppose so. It's not at this resistance yet. It's pretty close, but that's starting to roll over. And gold, right, a little down today. Crude oil, that was good yesterday as far as airlines. A bunch of those started looking a lot better. But hey, this is the way it is right now. It's going to change. And we just have to wait it out, pick our spots, and not get chopped up. All yours, Dan.
Good morning. Yeah, despite the market being in this range that you've been talking about, we using our approach have amazingly good setups we've been trading. I mean, all our opens are great. We've been, closed 10 put spreads yesterday, all for gains or break even. I got a big list here we can go through that are on my watch list. For credit spreads for directionals. I have alarms with market gap and down. They shouldn't trigger. So, some people might say, well, why do you have all these bullish trade ideas if we're gapping down? And it's what I just said, because we'll look at them from a fresh perspective if the alarm goes off. Look, Home Depot over yesterday's high, CAT yesterday's high. Look, it's not going to take out yesterday's high unless something positive's going on. I mean, look at Boeing yesterday was on fire. Last 2 days, look at that thing. So we only did one earnings trade yesterday. It's January now, so I don't even know why LW was reporting so late, but we did one way out of the money put spread, the 80s down here. So that I'm just going to bid a nickel or a dime and get it out. So that's another victory on that. I didn't want to give it because they're naked, but this just to explain to you what I did. So this is a short straddle. It's called selling the at the money call and put. A short strangle is selling out of the money call and put. So it's like a condor, but without the wings. I did the 135 calls naked. I mean, look at that. 130 was $18 higher. And I did the 85 puts. And it's gapping down here a little bit, but at the volatility contraction, I'm going to have a monster gain at the open. So that the same type of earning strategy, but I did them naked. All right, let's see what I have over. Well, here some other earnings things. SPL, it's in a downtrend. I don't see it gapping, no interest. REL gapping up, 21 exchange to resistance, no interest. FTZ gapping down to 221. Now, had this, it was on my short watch list earlier today when it was gapping just to like 228 right there. But now it's fallen another $6, so that kind of ruined my day trade short idea. WBA $36. I don't know. This would be one. It's a buy setup on the weekly. Let's just see if buyers want to step up. CAG. Put spread idea. This sector's been strong. RPM. I see one print down here, but I don't trust it unless there's more volume. Here's the LW we talked about. We shorted the 80s way the heck down here. MSM. There's not enough volume. We'll come back. Sample. Gapping down. No volume. We'll come back. NEOG. Up a little bit. That's a watch. Let's see how this sets up. Up here at $16. I'll actually put that bottom right here. I got Healy in the other computer. All right, so Hootie here was in a death trend. Wow, look at this thing, went up to $180. This has to be Chinese related. And so now it's up to $6. Let's keep this, put it in a window. Let's see if this thing can set up. Hootie. That's the band, Hootie and the Blowfish, I'm assuming. TMOS. Remember I mentioned this 200 the last 2 days, and I said, let's just watch it. Let's see if it can make a turn here at the 200 and support. And it is. And now it's gapping up. So TMOS is on my put spread watch. Yeah, NEOG, yeah. HKD. Another one, big old gap up, monster gap up, but to resistance. I don't know what to do with that. IPG, we're in. I just got an up alarm. So let me reset that. So let's say 35.40. And down alarm. This eyeball in there, the 20 MA 34.65. And that's how I manage opens, of course. Z Lab, something's up with this. Man, that's a big gap. But there's nothing to do. There's nothing to do. I don't know what to do with that. There's Home Depot crowd. Was not earnings, but something's up with this. I don't know what the news is, but that's nasty downtrend. Another little whackage. Avgo, yesterday's high. I have as a put spread. Costco, I have an alarm at 460, I think, put spread idea, but it has to get over yesterday's high. Market access, bullish daily, weekly, put spread idea. RGP was earnings, no pattern, I'm deleting you, IPAR. Yesterday's high would be strong. Then a trading range and an uptrend. Wow, Amazon laying off 150,000 people. Is that right? Did I give you the right number? The Journal said they have 1.5 million employees worldwide. I had no idea. But
Maybe totally, Dan. I think the number today was 18,000, the new number.
Okay, well, I read 5%. Yeah, I posted it a few minutes ago. So anyway, it's just another big tech that's getting part of the employee whackage, cream. Yeah, 18,000. Yeah, it says 18,000 workers, 5%. Remember Cream? Was it Cream or? Yeah, Cream had a nice gap up when they said they were laying off a bunch of people yesterday. Shown, this is a steel stock. I don't see any prints. We'll come back. LNN, it's kind of a bear 1, 2, 3. Yesterday's low could be a day trade. Ango, no pattern. Look at Sierra. This is another one of these Bitcoin stocks. Look at, wow, this thing was up yesterday. Wow, whoever bought yesterday has a big old stomach ache today. Look at this thing's 13 bucks. Greg, what the heck is that? Can you look at that?
It's like, holy shit.
What?
It's like, holy shit, that I don't own it.
No, look at text. I don't know if that's spam or what. I don't have time to look.
Oh.
All right, so this is another
Alex copy pasted that from China.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, I didn't even look. All right, so another Bitcoin disaster. You were playing with fire in these Bitcoin brokerage stocks for sure. Coin here down, Hood. Mister, I was trying this. This was in the weekend letters. The Climo to sell puts. We didn't get the premium we wanted, but as I like to say, even if you don't do the trade, it's another goes into your memory bank. So that one worked out beautifully. We had a nice reversal, and it was a naked put I do. NDCR gapping up 10. Wow, that must be a bio. That's a big old gap. Look at the monthly. Monthly's been going sideways for a year. Now it's a pro gap breakout on the monthly. So the problem is, where the heck are you going to get on board, and where's your stop? That's the problem. But it's a very bullish gap. These were left over from yesterday. Look at Charlie Bravo. Amazing strength, closing breakout, PPG. Nice gap from a retest pattern. I see it gapping down here, actually under yesterday's low, which is not good. A UNF closing breakout. This was earnings yesterday, and I said yesterday, if this could get over on Tuesday's high. Still too sloppy for me though, but that looks higher, daily, weekly, monthly. Goldman green as everything else gapping down. I don't see any prints though. FedEx is a put spread idea. Gapping down here a little bit. I set an alarm at 182, I think. TMOS alarm. This is a put spread idea I posted. Look, it's popping right here. That set my alarm off. HTHT gap over a red bar, closing breakout. That it's, you know, these are just on my long list. They're worth watching. And DHI was in the weekend letter. We never entered because of the gap up though. Moss. Beautiful put spread idea. It made the turn. You know, multi-bar turn. Gapping down a little. Charlie Bravo, we just talked about. IDXX closing breakout. I'm going to set an alarm at 425 on this. All right, these airlines had beautiful days yesterday. I was hoping to get a 1, 2, 3, 4 in this, but breakout, decisive breakout, daily, weekly, CPA. We bought a half lot into the close. The other half you can do yesterday's high, LUV. I'm going to set an alarm at 33.80 to do a put spread. Well, it has to take out the high, but I have alarms early. 33.80. TCOM, another beautiful strong one. Put spread idea, Ben. Another breakout in a bullish trading range, daily, weekly, APO. I haven't, this looks great. This one's actually good to go. This one's good to go, yesterday's high. Yeah, I'm gonna get rid of LW. I have it in the other computer. APO looks great. I'm gonna set an alarm at 60. Okay, see, now it's gapping down, which is fine. I'll set an alarm at 60. You know, but this is what I expect to get gap downs in a bearish market. And then, like I said, they're only going to trigger if they're strong. So I'm going to set an alarm 64.30 on APO. All right, TMOS. All right, TMOS, let's see what the juice is. Myrna, I haven't looked at Myrna in a while. All right, I said 75 cents. Let's see what it is. Schwab up alarm. All right, TMOS 136, 130. Oh, it's for next week. Wow, they're spreading on TMOS. But it's 75 cents. So right there. So if you're filled, it's fine. All right, so TMOS is a go. WMS, shoot, low alarm. That one concerned me yesterday. Hootie, I see going. I mentioned Hootie and the blowfish. Alarms here, WMS. You know, we're still in it, but I don't like it. AMBA. We had the stop was 77. Q's weak here. LW. Oh, they're not even open yet. That's why. LW is still 50 by 70. so forget that. All right, where was it? Amba. Amba, stop 77.